Jake Noecker here with Cageside Press, and with me today, fighting in Seattle, February 22nd, Billy Goff. Billy, my man, before I ask you anything else, does the caveman look stay for the fight?
Yes, it does. This is what I'm gonna look like for the fight.
Are you
I'm
gonna
gonna,
like braid your hair or anything, or no?
yes. I will have my hair in braids. I can't have it all out and about. It's too annoying. I can't see because it just sits like this.
That's crazy. That's like Clay
Um,
Guida.
yeah. Um, so yeah, it will be in braids, but I'm leaving the beard, leaving everything.
See, when I don't fight, but I train a little bit. When my beard gets even a little scruffy, I can't roll with it. It drives me crazy. It gets sweaty. It gets itchy. How does that not bother you?
It does at first, but once you just sit with it for a while, you get used to it. And I think as it gets longer, it gets easier to deal with. But my beard does get caught the longer it is. Like it'll get like just there like somebody's hand will be on it, or like if they grab my chin, like it gets caught, and that's really annoying.
I
And
hate rolling
that's
with people with beards too, because like I don't like grabbing their neck. Like you're an asshole, is what I'm
Mm,
saying.
yes, yeah. Just
Now,
selfish piece of shit.
now, dispel or prove the rumors. Does that give you an extra layer of chin?
Um, no.
No
I,
help there. This 4 ounce glove's gonna go right through that.
yeah, I wish it did, but no. Um, I don't particularly need it. But what I do think, and I think it makes sense. My coach said it a long time ago. And he said that's why all the Russians have their beard the way that they do is because like when you have like a bit of a beard, it just you can't see your chin line as easily. So it's like it makes it just slightly harder to hit.
So it's about the target, not the cushion.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, yeah, this is pretty defined. I can't see yours, so I buy it. But Billy, heading up to Seattle, man. I've talked to multiple fighters on this card. I will name no names, but at least three of them, and not no, three of them on the dot, have told me how excited they are to try the weed in Seattle. What are your thoughts about Seattle? You excited to puff up or just excited to go fight there?
I was actually kind of bummed that it got moved to Seattle. I wanted to stay in the Apex.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to use the PI all fight week and whatnot.
Mm.
The but I've never been to Washington, and I've never been to Seattle, so that'll be cool. I'm not smoking. It's just I'm on a break because it messes with my head. It doesn't. I'm just
You cut it out for fight camp and stuff?
that, and it's just also like it makes me more anxious when I smoke weed.
Understood.
And it's just taking a break from it for however long. Um, so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna go out and enjoy. I don't know anything about Seattle, so I don't know what's there to go see. Um, but I'm gonna find some stuff.
It's beautiful in Washington, so I'm sure you'll at least be able to get some like, high elevation hikes in with some scenic views and all that.
Um,
Can't eat,
is
can't
Seattle
smoke. Sorry.
is Seattle at elevation? Like what is like where we're in the arena?
I actually don't know. Let me look it up though, because I know Washington's like up there. It's in the mountains and all that, and like PNW. Oh no, wow, Washington's only 175, or Seattle's only 175 feet above sea level, so you're not getting any elevation. That was a lie.
Nice. Good to know.
Yeah, you don't got to gas yourself out like that, man. But Billy, let's talk some fights here, and we'll start with the BS in the past here, coming off of your first loss in the UFC. I guess before I ask you about how do you mentally recover from something like that, did you agree with the scorecards? It doesn't matter, it's in the past, but controversial, a lot of split opinions online.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people come out and say that they believe I won. I mean I had commentators message me afterwards and say that I won. They thought I did enough and whatnot. And everyone I talked to seems to think that I won. And I didn't really have as much of an opinion until I went back and watched it. But after I went back and watched it that night, and I also believe that I won. It was close regardless whether who
Really?
you think won. It was certainly close. Um, and the only like I understand people giving him Like, so when we would get into an exchange, he would usually hit me as I came in. I would hit him, and then he would hit me as I was leaving, or he would hit as he was leaving. Um, but it's like, I mean, what do you expect? He's got crazy long
Very
arms.
long. Yeah.
So it's like I gotta get hit to get in. Most of the time. As the fight went on, I got a little when I wasn't rushing, I was able to slip and use my defense to get in more. Um, so I do believe I won. I mean with 4 minutes of control time, I had two takedowns, 2 out of 12 garbage shots. Um, the and I was pushing him around the cage the whole time. It's not like he was pulling me. He didn't have he wasn't like, oh, like it wasn't some slick boxing game to where he was pulling me in and using it. I was pushing him around the cage the whole time.
Mhm.
Um and I think we both landed. I landed more. And I had a more variety. I had kicked his leg a bunch, I hit his body a bunch, and I hit his head a bunch. And he really mostly just hit me in the head. Um, and he had more head strikes, but I had way more strike. I had more strikes in total. Um, it is what it is. I mean, people say that, like, and if aside from like the hitting him, like first hit and the last hit and the exchanges, outside of that, I don't see how you can give him an argument for winning. Even like damage wise, like I look like I have more damage, but I mean, I'm white, and the second I get hit, I'm gonna get red. The but only one of us needed surgery after the fight, and that wasn't me. So,
And like I said, like mentally, are you harping on that? Are you, resentful, angry about with the judges, or do you put it behind you, move on? Like, how did you move on from this loss?
um, I mean, I hope to get it back one day. It's certainly not one I want to just leave as is. Um, but I'm not. I mean, I'm not mad at the judges. The judges fucking suck. Just in general, like there's people who gave Paul Acosta the fight against Strickland. It's like I'm not. I don't. I don't. I'm not upset with the judges for being shitty judges because most judges suck nowadays. Um, I'm not even upset with the ref for missing a wildly illegal knee. Like I just whatever. It didn't hurt me.
I forgot about that one, man. That was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was wildly illegal and he was standing right there looking at us. It wasn't like he had a bad angle. He was like, you saw that. You just didn't make the right call. Um, which I don't care. I don't need you to take a point. It didn't hurt. Um, and I like that's the thing is like I'm not upset about any of that. Like that doesn't really sit with me. Even the decision, like I believe I won the fight. I got fight of the night. My stock went up. And if you look at, and not that it really matters, but if you look at our followers before the fight and after the fight, I'm the only one who got any out of it because everybody was like, yeah. And like that's the thing. Like, yeah, we had fight of the night, but fight of the night happened because of me. Like, yeah, it takes two to tango, and I'm not taking anything away from Trey. He's a good fighter, tough dude. Um, but we fought at that pace and we fought like that because of me. Like that's a fact. You're not gonna have another fight like that because you're not gonna be fighting me and unless you fight me again. But even then, I hope like it's different. The biggest thing, like I just fought like shit. Like everybody looks at that fight and they say like, "Oh man, you had a great fight." But it's like, no, dude, I fought sloppy and lazy, and I was rushing, and I wasn't listening to the game plan. I didn't listen to my corners. I didn't. I wasn't. I didn't. I didn't want to be there. So it was just like, and that's what I tried to take away from the fight. I've had not so great performances before, but even when it's a bad day, when I'm not so present mentally, it's still a great fight. I'm still a dog. I'm still gonna come forward and fight hard. Um, and then I was upset about the way that the commentators were mostly Michael Bisping saying I need to learn how to do a crackdown because fuck you, I've been wrestling since I was 8 years old. I know how to hit a crackdown.
Well, hey, hopefully you and the fans would like to see it too. Hopefully we get to run that one back someday. But this next one, actually, before I even ask about Fugit, You were supposed to fight Veretnikov. Is that fight off because you took the Fugit fight, or is there a different reason for that?
No, he pulled out. And I don't know why.
No,
I
you didn't hear like injury or anything. You just heard he pulled out.
Yeah. My manager didn't give me anything. He didn't say anything, I guess. He just pulled out. Which is actually the first person to ever pull out in one of my fights. So, the first for everything.
Well, now you're replacing Dulatov. Relatively short notice against Fugit. I guess you've been training though, so like the short notice aspect's really just in regards to the new stylistic opponent. So, how do you feel about Adam Fugitt?
He's a good fighter. I think there are certain ways he's more dangerous than Nikolai, and other ways he is not as dangerous. Fugit definitely doesn't hit as hard, um, but he throws more. Throws a lot more kicks and he throws a lot more volume. Uh, Pushes the pace a little bit more. Not a whole lot more. I think he walks forward, but he doesn't fight super fast. Um, and he's got good grappling. He throws up submission. He'll throw up some submissions. Um, the I don't I look at him more dangerous on the ground because I think he's never out of it. Like he doesn't quit on himself. So I think he will always be going for it. Um, but on the feet, I think it'll be an easier fight.
Are you predicting this one to be like a 3 round fight of the night situation where you got to test the gas tanks? Do you see a path to victory before that? How do you see this one going down?
I definitely see multiple pathways to victory before the like going the distance. I don't see this being a fight of the night barn burner, super close matchup. I say that, but I also said that about Trey Waters.
Sure.
So there's always, I mean, everybody's got a plan until you get in the fight. Things go differently. Things look differently in the cage when you're there. But from the outside, like looking at the film and whatnot, um, I've got all the physical advantages. I'm certainly younger. I should have the better cardio. I have amazing cardio, so um, having like just I'm gonna be faster. I'm gonna be stronger. He's a little taller, a little longer, um, but it's he's not as tall as Trey Waters. He's not as doesn't have as he's not as long as he is, so it's not gonna be um, as bad as that. And I was able to get in and hit him a lot. Um, and so I think pushing the pace, staying smart, and I don't see how I don't put him out. Um, there's always things that happen, but I think I win it on the feet, on the ground, up against the cage, anywhere we end up. There's nowhere that I'm like, oh, I have to be like this is where he is better than me. I think I'm better everywhere.
And he's an Oregon boy, so he'll probably
Mhm.
have some, support up there. You're no stranger to fighting behind enemy lines. Do you enjoy that? Do you get like a rise out of that, or do you prefer to fight at home with your fans behind your back?
No, I mean I certainly enjoy like I fought up at Cage Titans twice against the hometown guys.
Even
Um
Singapore, that was way closer to his area.
yeah, but Singapore wasn't even like I don't know, I feel like with the UFC because um but like if we were in Japan, then I would have been getting booed. But I didn't get booed in Singapore. If we're just near your hometown, it doesn't matter. Um, but if it only matters if the crowd's booing and like they're like these are your fans and they're here to watch you and they're booing me because they like you.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. Like honestly, like that's fun. Hey, it's like, oh, like you guys want me to lose. And now I just get to be a problem. Like now I get to just disappoint you guys. I get to upset
Yeah.
more people.
Silence the crowd,
Um,
baby.
yeah, like that is fun. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't know. I feel like UFC events because the UFC is so popular and so many people are just vying to get to the shows. That there's such a mix of the crowds that you're hard pressed to get such a big presence of booze.
And this is I assume you had a 4 fight deal when you joined the UFC, yeah?
Hmm.
This is fight number 3. A lot of people say after they're, second to last on the contract, that's when negotiations start. Do you have that in mind going into this one? Do you feel the need to make a big statement win? That way you can use that for renegotiations?
Um, I mean, I wasn't thinking about it, and I don't think I will be. But it's certainly something that I think about in general. Like I was wanting to negotiate, um, in winning if if I won the last one. I was like, all right, we win this one, we put them out, we look really good, and we get to negotiate.
Sure.
Didn't go that way. But it is what it is. Even if I have to fight out all four, I'm not too worried about not getting re-signed because I've been like every single one of my fights have been extremely exciting.
Mhm.
I'm People like to watch me fight. Um, the From the contender series to the first round finish in Singapore to the fight of the night with Trey. I don't see how I don't get re-signed unless I have unless I shit the bed in these next two. There's no way that I don't get re-signed. But I mean, crazier things have happened, I guess.
Nah, we don't even think about that. You're getting re-signed. I was just curious. But in 2025, man, like what goals do you have for yourself in terms of I guess how many fights do you want? Do you have a specific spot in the rankings you want to see by the end of the year? Anything like that?
I mean, I'd like to get closer to the top 15. I don't think it's possible, or not so much possible, but reasonable to shoot for the top 15. Think opportunities happen, and I certainly could step in on something, and get a chance to get to the top 15. Um, but I'd like to fight three times this year. Um, it's hard to, man. I've been asking for a fight since August. Um, and the one guy I was about to fight pulled out, so I'm lucky that there was somebody else to fight. Because if I didn't take the Fugit fight, I would have been looking at April or May, maybe. That's if they could give me a fight. And it's just there's so many people on the roster that it's hard to get everybody fights per year. Um, so it's like I hate fighting once a year. I want to fight three times this year.
Yeah.
Um, the so. I don't see myself getting too close. Like, I'm not going to be in the top 15, but I can get three solid wins and start like poking at the top 15s, trying to set up a fight into the top 15.
And
But we'll see.
you're replacing Dulatov. Is that a potential fight that interests you? Maybe even Varetnikov you're supposed to fight? Like any names that are buzzing out to you?
Um, I didn't know Dulatov until I watched his contenders fight because I heard that because he was going to fight Fugit. So I was like, all right, what is Fugit going to do to prepare for him? Um, which it was not much to prepare for because it was a super fast fight.
Yeah.
Um, the No, so I mean, because if I fight Dulatov, or if I fight Nikolay, it's like it depends. I mean, it depends on what the UFC wants to do. Are they just giving me guys to like, all right, here, keep warming yourself up, like keep kind of like here's some more cage time, more cage time. It's like, all right, yeah, we can go that route. But if we're going for the top 15, I want to fight like if we're trying to work towards that, then I need to fight bigger names. I need to fight people that are ahead of me. Um, so I was Mike Malott is someone that I've been thinking about, especially since he beat Fugit. So
Mhm.
um, if I beat Fugit in better fashion, um, then that's a good reason to call out him.
And UFC's going back to Canada too. I think in May. I don't have the date off the top of my head, but that could be a potential one too. You head up to Canada and fight Mike Malott.
Yeah, and that would be good timing. So it's and like if we get a bigger name, that goes like if I'm jumping up a good bit, then that's a reason to renegotiate, and get more fights and more money and whatnot. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand the business all too well. I don't understand how I don't talk to Sean Shelby, so I don't understand that aspect of the game all that well. So saying like, oh, this is what could happen. That's why like I don't even care to call people out all that much because it's like I can call someone out and it just like I on Twitter I called out Mickey Gall and then I called out the whole roster and it just nothing came of it.
Nothing. Yeah.
Um So it's a weird game. I don't really know how to play it.
I know you can't see yourself. Just turn your camera down a little bit.
I got you. Like my yeah, was falling.
Perfect. A couple questions left, and I'll get you out of here, Billy. Have you heard anything about UFC coming back up to Boston?
No, I have not.
Damn
But
it.
swear to God, if they don't get me on that card, or Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden's different because everybody wants to fight at Madison Square
Yeah.
Garden. Everybody wants to fight at TD Garden too because it's one of the few fights on the East Coast.
I got the
Um,
poster right there. Right. Bam.
I can't see it. I can't see shit.
Oh yeah, you're you're
Uh,
you're in your weird phone mode. Well, you'll have to
yeah,
trust me.
I believe you. Uh, the but I would love to, and I know that I could sell the place out like crazy. I could get so many people to go. Because like that's why everybody tells me like, are you gonna fight in local anytime soon? It's like the only chance is TD Garden or
Yeah.
MSG. I would love to one like eventually pitch an idea to Dana White like, hey, could we do a fight night at Mohegan Sun? You could put I
A
think it's
lot of a lot of promotions do it.
yeah, it's they I mean Bellator fought there tons. I mean, I think they can hold up to 10,000, 15,000 people in
I
the
think
arena.
BKFC has been there too.
hmm Yeah,
Yep.
they just had a fight Bare Knuckle just had a fight a couple weeks ago where Brendan got that awesome TKO
Yeah, that
or
was
not.
last weekend. Yeah, that's right.
hmm so yeah, there's like they have big fights there. So I don't know. I don't know if the UFC just doesn't want to deal with the tribe because I'm sure they can be um picky or difficult. I don't know. But it'd be nice to get a like a hometown fight night.
Yeah, that would I'd be there in a heartbeat, bro. Not that far a drive for me, but Billy, last thing I want to ask you about. Kind of a crazy week last week on the MMA timeline and Twitter and our universe. You had Bryce Mitchell praising some people he probably shouldn't have been praising. Conor McGregor
Yep.
saying some words he shouldn't have been saying. And
Yep.
even this week, Sean Strickland calling the leech, Li Jingling, the Chinaman at the microphone. I guess my question is, how do you feel about all this nonsense being a part of MMA? Because you look at NBA, NFL, NHL, whatever it be, you don't see this so much. MMA, I don't know if it's the personalities, the flexibility with free speech, whatever it be. You get a lot of this. What are your thoughts on it?
I definitely think it's the flexibility with free speech. I think athletes are allowed to just be themselves without too much of a um without too many consequences,
Hmm.
which it's a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, it's great in a way. You have the freedom to be who you are and to say what you are. But at the same time, we have a bunch of fucking shitty people saying shitty things. Um, the I don't even think what Sean Strickland said was as bad as what Henry Cejudo said.
Oh yeah,
Um,
talking about song and
yeah,
dong and fortune kicks and whatever else it be.
wontons and egg rolls and whatnot.
I did ask Song about that. Song thought it was funny, to be fair, but still, it's all
Yeah,
very risky MMA honed conversation.
yeah, and like, listen, racist jokes can be funny. Like, you can't deny that racist jokes can be funny at times.
Humor is humor, 100%.
Yeah. But it's all about delivery, and your crowd. Like, how does it, like, you gotta be able to deliver it well. I'm not a comedian, so it's not like I'm speaking from some type of experience. Um, the, but there's certain, like Bryce Mitchell, like, that's just, come on, man. You just look fucking dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
that's bad.
Sean Strickland, he's trying to be inflammatory and funny. Same with Henry Cejudo. Um, so it's like, some of it is okay. People aren't gonna like it because people just don't like. You could say anything and people aren't gonna like it. So I think there's a certain level of, and what the and now what I hope, like, this is just, it's like a little um example of what I would love to see just around the world everywhere. Um, like getting rid of affirmative action is like the end goal, but not in a way that is like, you don't want that to happen so that people get treated poorly because of racism. It's like, okay, we don't have to have it because everybody's kind and considerate, and now you don't have to force protocols. Because like if there's a bakery that wants to not serve a certain race or that wants to not serve a certain sexuality or whatever. And it's like, okay, you're a piece of shit. We're just not going to shop at your store anymore. And now you lose a bunch of business, and now you're forced to either go under or come out and apologize and change your ways. Um, and it's a certain level of like mass elevated consciousness to where we're all considerate and we're kind and we are firmer with our boundaries. Um, and we work together more as a collective. Um, and that's the end goal for the world. But I mean, a lot of people fucking suck. So we'll see if we get there.
A lot of people fucking suck indeed. Billy, this is not about unity, but last question, real quick answer, because there is a right answer and there's a wrong answer. Chiefs or Eagles, who you got?
Eagles.
Yes, my man. Go Birds. Let's get it. Billy, before I get you out of here, man, thanks for the time. As always, good catching up. Anything you want to say to all the fans ahead of the fight?
Absolutely. Tune in, man. It's I'm trying to put on a master class of a performance. I'm trying to fix a lot of things that I needed to work on from the last one. Mostly just it's all about the mental side of things and just being present and doing what you need to do. Because I'm certainly putting the work in. I'm always putting the work in. Huge thank you to my teammates. I'm here because of them. And my sponsor, Nummy's Bakery, always supporting me, having my back. Thank you for the time and the platform. Um, but yeah, tune in February 22nd because it's going to be a good one.
I actually hope to see you there. I'm working on credentials, so if I'm there, we'll hang. I'll treat you to some.
Absolutely.
I don't know what you eat on fight week. Water, crackers. I'll get you all that good stuff. But
No crackers because they have salt.
there you go. Just water then. But ladies and gentlemen, February 22nd, Seattle, UFC, Billy Ray Goff is back. Don't miss it. Thanks, brother.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, dude.